Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Brochim Abayim, welcome. Welcome to our Rosh Hashanah evening service, the first of many pre-recorded gatherings for these high holy days, 5781. I want to thank all those who have stepped forward, behind the camera and in front, to make this experience this year as moving and inspiring and as joyful as could be. During these various recording sessions, which is a journey and a story in itself for another time, we had a large learning curve to meet head-on. Kind of like the Kurt Vonnegut quote, "It's been like jumping off cliffs and developing our wings on the way down." But during these sessions, the mood and the professionalism has been outstanding. Even if there were moments in which it felt like Spanky and our gang decided to make a movie. Thank God we love each other. These last few weeks of recording, though, have been a classic representation of our lives these last 6 months. Surprises, disappointments, adjustments, learning, more adjustments, 2 steps backwards. Sometimes a little stress, more surprises, settling with less than we had hoped, and coming to terms as each new reality unfolds. But in these last 6 months, we've also learned amazing resilience, creativity, compassion, care, and concern for each other's well-being in an unprecedented manner. So I hope you're comfortable. Sit back, but let your heart lean forward as we engage in our ancient tradition of bringing in the new year with hopes of teshuvah, a returning to God, to more holiness in our lives, and to a life which illuminates, a life which brightens the lives of others. L'Shana Tova, we at Shir Shalom wish for you a healthy, safe, and joyous new year. As we prepare for our call to prayer with Baruch Hu, ordinarily in the sanctuary I would ask you all to rise, and of course you may do so if you wish, but I would like to suggest a spiritual standing. Let your spirits rise tonight. If you're comfortable, please stay comfortable. Let your spirits rise tonight as we create a connection, our first congregational call to prayer in the new year. Please turn to page 13 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam vaed.
At the the heart of the Jewish spiritual journey and thought rests the core belief in the absolute oneness and holiness of God. For centuries now, Jews have turned to the Shema when all other words failed, and this has served as a statement of faith and connection. But the Shema also asks us to hear, to listen, with a deep stillness, for the Ruach Elohim, the breath of God, as mentioned in the second verse of the story of creation in Torah, when a Ruach Elohim, a spirit of God, hovered over all that was, is, and will be. So please turn to page 19 and join us in the one word, one breath chanting of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael
And now, our Hebrew school student, Scarlett, will chant the V'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווה היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושופך ופומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Thank you, Scarlett. Together with her twin sister Audrey, Scarlett will be celebrating her bat mitzvah this November. They've decided to pursue forward, even if it means live streaming. The party, they said, will have to wait till we can all get together again. And for now, time for music, soothing for the soul, the Hashkivenu, found on page 30.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hadidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hadidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ushmot Tzedenu Uvo'enu Lechaim u'leshalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Me'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hadidenu Malkeinu Lechaim
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל
כל עמו ישראל.
ועל ירושלים, ועל ירושלים, ועל ירושלים. אמן.
תקעו בחודש שופר, בכסל יום חגנו, כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי יעקב.
Sound Tkiah on the shofar on the new moon of Tishrei, at the dark of the moon, a time, our holy day, for it is a law for Israel, a judgment by the God of Jacob. Please turn to page 34 for the Chetzi Kaddish.
Yikada Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamadi Rahutei v'yamlich Malchutei Hayechon v'yomechon Uv'chayechon Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala Uv'izman HaKarib V'yimaru Amen Yeheshmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam le'ol me'omaya Yisparach Yisparach v'yishtabach Yimar v'rovan v'yinaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kudisha B'richu Leila Leila Inkor B'chata B'shirata Tushbechata V'nemata Damira Niyama V'yimaru Amen.
Tonight we will have a silent Amidah. Adonai, our God, let this holy time lift us to your presence in peace and with love. We read together on top of page 37, Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips that our mouths may declare your praise. Please take time to give attention and intention through the prayers and blessings from pages 37 to 58, or for the full traditional silent Amidah in Hebrew and in English between pages 222 to 244. And, of course, please take time to find your own thoughts and meditations and engage in and with holiness.
Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru
יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
ועל כל יושבי תבל. In the beginning, there was void, chaos, darkness over the surface of the deep. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. The creation of our world began in darkness, as does with each human life. And sometimes, especially these past seasons, it feels like we've been slipping back into a period of chaos, unknown, and even these last weeks actually seeing darkness in the skies during the day. We've decided to read this year from the story of creation as our chosen Torah piece for tomorrow. Our rabbinic intern, Maayan Lev, will be chanting for us. Why creation and not our traditional Torah story for Rosh Hashanah, the binding of Isaac, found in our High Holy Day book? Well, the worship team and I felt we were charged with a very unique responsibility, in essence, to recreate altogether a worship service. And we needed verses of Torah that we could, and you could also, relate to. So thus, creation of the world. In other words, if every other aspect of our lives were reshuffling, then our approach to these high holy days, maybe they should as well. And let's remember, Hayom Harat Olam, our tradition tells us, on Rosh Hashanah, today, the world was created. But not only are we celebrating a new Jewish year, 5781, but we find ourselves as well with the more daunting number, that of 2020. Ironically known as the perfect vision, 2020 has certainly in a way at least adjusted our vision. It has forced us to slow down and humbled us into shelter in place while we watched last spring the rest of the world, nature, animal life, flourish in our absence. We rejoiced, but could only feel guilty that the real absence of nature's decor and fanfare year-round is our fault. In our slower pace, we've had to deal with personal, communal, and worldwide surprises, disappointments, adjustments, a lot of learning, sometimes steps backwards, often settling for far less than we had hoped, and coming to new terms of difficult acceptance with each new reality unfolds before us. Often it's felt like the Kurt Vonnegut quote. I really can't say that I'm a fan. I haven't read enough of his work, but I do like this quote. It's been like jumping off cliffs and developing our wings on the way down. These wings that we've developed have forced us to tap into an amazing resilience, creativity, and sympathy, care and concern for each other's well-being in an unprecedented manner. And I believe this to be because we are all experiencing this tohu and vohu, this chaos, this darkness. We all remember pre-pandemic time, and there will be a post-pandemic time. It will come, and we know not when. Which means that now is the sense of that in-between, that darkness, which comes with the unknown, the sense of void, which represents our uncertainties. This is Sha'at Ben Arbaim, the feeling of dawn or dusk between light and darkness, when we can't really trust our senses. And it is in this in-between time, let's call it, we come together tonight on Rosh Hashanah to search for our own truth as we examine our lives. Instead of judgment upon everything we see and hear, tonight we put judgment upon ourselves. We admit we live in a seesaw of merits and faults, as we admit that the power of change is in our hands. Free will is given to every human being, and it is at this time, together, we incline ourselves more towards goodness, beginning with more simple, virtuous acts of patience, the understanding of another person's needs, kindness of speech, acts of chesed, loving kindness. These first steps of teshuvah, a returning or a rerouting of ourselves to rediscover the sweetness in our spirits. From our High Holy Day prayer book, I read, "This machzor is intended to help us, help those whose world seems so marred by chaos, to rise up from ordinaries, its enmities, its senseless pain, and find our way to awe, and return again to create an earth ennobled by our stay, and bring forth a presence in which others around us will be uplifted. If there ever was a time in which we all need to be a bit softer, kinder, a more level of approach from each other, it's now. It is now in this in-between, this tohu and vohu, the chaos and unknown, this shat bein arbaim, these twilights. And the heartache, what we yearn to do most, what our most basic human nature absolutely needs right now, we cannot do. We cannot gather together to worship, to hug, to kfel, to sit side by side, to sing together, to kibbutz. Rabbi Eva Robbins, a dear friend and colleague, wrote in a recent post, "We are deprived of the very thing we need that would bring comfort and support. Yet we are connected and feel one another even through computer screens and masks. We are reminded in Torah that when we bring our worship offerings of being present, we must do it with joy and simcha. In our virtual services from every room in the city, we must all bring our glorious voices and prayers as an offering to the Holy One. Together, though apart, we will bring healing to the community, to ourselves, and to God." So through this screen, I do hope you can feel the presence of each and every one who also yearns to learn better ways. I hope through the music you're finding solace. Hine matov, return again. Yedid nefesh, O guide my steps. The Avinu Malkeinu and more all come together but once a year, beginning tonight. So let the music soothe your soul, calm your spirit, and may the holy words be absorbed. In our liturgy and readings, we should be familiar by now with the opening words, "We are here on this Rosh Hashanah Eve, poised somewhere between what we have been and what we wish to be." So tonight, we seek to open our hearts as we individually seek the answers to where have we come from since last year to this. What have we become? And what do we hope to be? The night is short, the tasks are many. So let's let 2020 year tonight go away for a bit, and instead fully embrace tonight the Jewish New Year, 5781. 5781 was born into the pandemic, fires and smoke, with struggles too many to name, but God willing, 5781 will not end with them. As the world struggles to recover, so we too begin to create our healing as well. And for your journey, I would like to offer you a blessing, the blessing that Aaron, the high priest, the brother of Moses, gave the Israelites in the desert after their exodus from Egypt and on their way to the Promised Land. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May the Lord bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'yechuneka. May God's countenance, God's presence shine very warmly upon you and be gracious to you. V'yisad Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, sweep over you and grant you peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים
The Misha Berach, our healing prayer, is our deepest, one of our most profound healing moments in all of our worship gatherings. Misha Berach, as we call it, literally means the one who blessed. As with our ancestors through centuries, no matter what your idea of God may be, may simply the name God, Adonai, bring thoughts of peace, calmness, and bring healing to us and to our loved ones. And during this unique time of uncertainty with some devastation in our midst, our hearts reach out to the victims of our fires and hurricanes and our pandemic and those facing economic struggles and educational struggles, so much more. So as we fill our hearts with the names of those who hurt so much, may we remember specifically at this time to show a kind heart and be a source of healing to others. So please turn to page 179 as I read the names currently on our list in need of our prayers for their well-being. The Misha Berach, our healing prayer, is our deepest, one of our most profound healing moments in all of our worship gatherings. Misha Berach, as we call it, literally means the one who blessed. As with our ancestors through centuries, no matter what your idea of God may be, may simply the name God, Adonai, bring thoughts of peace, calmness, and bring healing to us and to our loved ones. And during this unique time of uncertainty with some devastation in our midst, our hearts reach out to the victims of our fires and hurricanes and our pandemic and those facing economic struggles and educational struggles, so much more. So as we fill our hearts with the names of those who hurt so much, may we remember specifically at this time to show a kind heart and be a source of healing to others. So please turn to page 179 as I read the names currently on our list in need of our prayers for their well-being. Barbara Bloom, Eve Curtin, Andrea Delaney, Carly Friedman, Beth Goldman, Lori Goldman, Ruth Green, Ross Kaplan, Jean Knapp, Jerry Cram, Bonnie Lasky, Liba Laviolette, Sherry Levine, Rabbi Art Levine, Susan Levine, Michael Lipson, Peggy Lipson, Anya Magnuson, Eileen Michaels, Rob Michaels, Phyllis Myers, Richard Myers, Misha Ross, Margaret Sampson, Shelley Schneider, Carrie Schoenbach, and Richard Schramm. And I allow you a moment to hold other names into your hearts or even speak them out loud as we join in the Mishaberach.
שבירך אבותינו מקור הברכה, אמותינו, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה, אבותינו, bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, their renewal of body, their renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We've shared many words together. That we could speak them and hear them spoken means that there is a place in the world for them, that our songs of praise and prayers of hope have not gone empty. If the hopes that we have shared tonight are not to have been shared in vain, we must not abandon our words. Our words must leave with us when we enter the doors and when we exit our doors of this new year. And they must accompany us as we walk upon the road, when we sit in our homes, when we lie down, and when we rise up. For the Elenu, please turn to page 61.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו גאוי הרצון, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא זמזלתנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המנם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך echad, u'shemo echad.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We remember the victims and heroes who have lost their lives here in our midst in the recent months. And as we remember all, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and beyond. Please turn to page 62 and 63 for the Mourner's Kaddish. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles and the High Holy Day candles, life is kindled, it burns, and it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. I'd like to ask Howard to read the names on our Mourner's Kaddish list, and also those that passed away in the last 11 months.
Those we are honoring from Congregation Church Shalom for the month of September: Morris Alowitz, relative of Robert and Linda Alowit; Milton Berman, father of Linda Ahrens; Robert Egger, father of Howard Egger Beauvais; James Finley, father of Steve Finley; Max Friedman, father of Judy Friedman; Donald Gertz, father of Ken Gertz; Alan Rosh, husband of Lynn Lancaster; Barbara Kahn Gardner, mother of Bob Gardner; Therese Kerman, aunt of Susan Levine; Stephen Lawrence, father of Lisa Lawrence Mizaki; Robert Leader, father of Shell Leader; Maurice Lenz, father of Cy Lenz; Roger Levy, brother of Jim Levy; Lucille Lipson, mother of Michael Lipson; Gail Lutoff, wife of Robert Lutoff; Harry Malakoff, father of Sharon Malakoff; Roy Mizaki, father of Lad Mizaki; Ida Neiman, mother of Maddie Leader; Harding A. Oren, father of Beth Perlson; Ada Kate Perlson, mother of Lou Perlson; Robert Rosen, father of James Rosen; Hilda Sondheim, grandmother of Dan Sondheim; Ida Tenenbaum, mother of Robert Tenenbaum. Now, even though we're not in person, if there's a name on this list that you would like to say, please say it now. Out loud, we'll take a moment of silence. And now those we've lost in the last 11 months: Ruth Cooper, mother of Eileen Greenberg; Erwin Miller, husband of Judy Miller; Carol Cohen, mother of Judy Cohen, mother-in-law of Carl Spicer; Evo Rich, husband of Little Rich; Lawrence Kaufman, uncle of Lauren Myers, brother-in-law to Richard and Phyllis Myers; Willie Popovich, mother of Sandra Pollock, mother-in-law of Richard Pollock; Nathan Levine, father of Michelle Sampson, father-in-law to Frank Sampson; Shirley Silver, mother of Helene Silver and aunt of Anita Silver; Larry Goldstein, friend of Judy Miller; and Leonard Levine, father of Susan Levine.
And again, if you would like to bring to heart or mention in the comfort of your own home out loud the name of someone you've lost in the last 11 months, please do so. And additionally, I'd just like to bring more attention to those we do not know, but we know their lives have been lost, whether it be the first responders in the various areas of crisis that we're feeling, whether it be fires or pandemic and all of the rest, lives lost. We're the fortunate ones, and we give gratitude for that. So in their honor also, the Mourner's Kaddish is on page 6262 in our High Holy Day prayer book. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael, v'adala v'gizman kariv v'imru amen. יהי שמי רבא מברך לעולם אומר מיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי וקודשה בריחו. לעילה ולעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ביעלמה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. We bring our service to a close. Now all things are possible. For the new year, in the nurturing night, welcoming the time which the world itself began. These days which reunite our people in their ancient task. We are messengers of light before the darkness, and we're messengers of peace before the world.
Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and guide my steps.